Declaration, if you will remain standing for that, by Pastor Stephen Traxel from Grace Apostolic Church.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Lord, we're so thankful today for this day that you've given to us. We count this a day that you've made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we ask today that you'd give us wisdom and direction, and pray that you'd bless our council members and bless our mayor with wisdom from above to make the decisions that are important for our city. We pray a blessing upon the city of Clausen today. We pray for our families. We pray for husbands and wives and children, that God, we would seek you in all that we do, that we would turn from our wicked ways and turn to your righteousness, that you might show us the true path, the way that we should take. We pray, God, that you'd give us unity in this place. Help us, Lord, not to hold grudges as you've not held a grudge against us. Lord, I pray for our first responders, and I pray that the men standing behind me would be blessed for the fact they give their lives away to the cause to help others within the city. So I pray a blessing upon them and upon their wives and their children, because they sacrifice their lives to make sure that our lives are better for our city. We give you the praise and glory for this today. We love you, we praise you, and look to you for all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Traxel. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes, here.
Councilmember Sampson?
here.
Councilmember Shepherd? Absent.
Okay. First thing on the agenda will be the approval of the agenda. Someone like to make a motion to approve our agenda?
Well, Glenn here, we're not used to that. He kind of rolls with most of that, so I'll do that today.
I don't think we want to wait. Anybody, raise your hand if you want to wait for Glenn to reply. If you're not in favor of
not,
that,
so
I don't know,
somebody
make
else gotta-
another noise.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. Great. Next thing will be public comment for items on the agenda. If you're in the audience and you would like
Vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
All
just
right.
want to get this going. There's so many people staring at us in the back. It's kind of weird.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for keeping me honest here. Now, we will have public comment for items on the agenda. If you are here and you would like to discuss anything that we have on the agenda this evening, please come forward and state your name and your address.
Hi.
Good evening.
Erin Redmond. I don't know, it feels weird giving my address, but I live on Elmwood. So
Perfect.
I am wanting to discuss, I know that we spoke, Rennes, a little bit about some of the rental ordinance, and I appreciate you taking some feedback. I would. Sure.
We did not do that, right?
I sent you an email to this end as well. Madam Mayor, you and I spoke about this, as I did with Mr. Sampson as well. Because Mr. Shepherd is not here, I think this is one of those ordinances, proposed ordinances, that probably makes sense to have all hands on deck. So I'm respectfully requesting on behalf of administration that we pull this item and we push it forward to the next meeting of council, so that Mr. Shepherd may also be here if council so deems it appropriate.
Okay, I'm fine. I actually would appreciate doing that.
I make a motion, we pull. Which one is it?
And then
You can still speak on it.
thank you.
Yeah.
I kind of got it late, so I would rather, maybe I'll share some thoughts via email with you, and then I can maybe address it whenever you guys
Thank
address
you.
it.
Thank
That would
you
work
so much.
well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Were you making a motion, Mr. Sampson?
Trying to figure which one it is.
Is item 9 something?
It's agenda item 9E.
Thank you.
Make a motion, we remove item 90, discussion of the topic of rental ordinance.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Great. And everyone understands we're doing that so that we have a full group here when we do discuss this. Thank you. Okay. So the next item will be, is there anyone else who would like to speak for public comment? Okay, we'll say no, and thank you very much for not, and thank you for doing it. Next thing will be consideration of approving the consent agenda, which consists of minutes of the regular city council meeting held on Tuesday, June 7th, 2022, as presented, engagement letter with Yo and Yo CPAs and business consultants for auditing services for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, renewal of the uniform video service local franchise agreement with Comcast, and a list of bills presented in the amount of $409,691.65.
I move to approving the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes. Thank you. So the next item on our agenda is, can the camera turn around and show the back of the room? Is it possible, Will?
We can come up there.
All right, come on up. I don't want to break anything, but it's just so cool to see well-dressed people behind us.
We're offended.
Look, they're wearing suits. You're behind us too. You're part of that group. What are you trying to say? So tonight, we are offering a proclamation for the Clausen Volunteer Fire Department celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Clausen Fire Department. And those that are represented today are not all of your team, right? We were missing a few, but this is an example of people who dedicate their time, give freely, and support our community. So, whereas throughout our history, the American spirit has been distinguished by the ready willingness of neighbors to join together and help one another, the tradition of voluntary community service is as important today as it was 100 years ago, when 12 volunteer firefighters and Chief Lester Straub, the man for whom the street alongside City Hall is named, started the Clausen Fire Department in 1922. And whereas Clausen volunteer firefighters continue to carry on this truly American tradition of citizen response for the common good, our firefighters protect our lives, our families, and the economic life of our communities from the threat of destructive fire, often at great personal sacrifice. And whereas, in addition to fire safety services, the Clausen Fire Department is a popular and valued community resource, helping raise money for local charities, supporting local businesses, and bringing their trusty old 1947 Mack truck to events all year round. And whereas it is important to recognize that these volunteers are more than firefighters, they are our neighbors, coaches, community leaders, business owners, and municipal staff. And whereas 100 years and more than 150 volunteer firefighters later, the Clausen Fire Department remains as a well-trained and dedicated team of volunteer firefighters. Now therefore be it resolved that the entire city of Clausen joins with the city council and me to recognize the century of service our neighbors have provided us as Clausen volunteer firefighters, and look forward to another 100 years of their dedication and protection. And on behalf of the city of Clausen, we thank you for your service. And of those 100 years, if you guys can serve for the next 100 years, that will be really phenomenal when they write the second 100 years. That would be great. But as a resident of Clausen, I just want to tell you, I've had the pleasure of serving with several of you or encountering you along the way, and it has been such an honor to see the passion that you all have for what you do. You give up your time from your families to serve this community. You represent our businesses, you raise money for, everybody. You have a heart. You put the heart in this city that says that it has a heart. And I, just on behalf of all of us, I'd really like to thank you for what you do every day. Don't think it's ever taken for granted. It's extremely appreciated, not just for the role of the firefighter, but for the role that you all contribute individually, because that's what makes the difference in all of our communities. So on behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Now turn around so the retired firefighter can take photos. Would anyone like to speak about your joys of being a firefighter?
Madam Mayor, it has been an honor and a privilege, and we are happy to continue to serve.
Thank you.
There you go.
Anyone else? When the Robo-Stanks came, they spoke.
Oh, these firefighters
Robo
are so
Stangs.
sweet.
And you don't have to, but we do appreciate you 100%. And thank you for getting all dressed up. You look amazing. You all look amazing, just for the record.
So, just in case you guys don't know, we sent a contingent of firefighters to Berkeley today for mutual aid. Troy. Which hasn't happened in a long time. So for them, I think this is, we've been called before, but canceled en route or as we're leaving the station. This time, we had 6 firefighters actually go over there and go right to work, and they put us to work for a long time. Some of those guys are right here, Lieutenant Sennett, Connor Winther, Mr. Worth, Captain Karate, and these guys work real hard today. So I'm
Thank
very
you.
proud. We're good. Exit stage left.
Dinner, well, on me. I said it would be on me. Go ahead. Send me the bill.
You don't want to feed this group.
Well, I do.
Well, yeah, that gets a little pricey. Thank you very much.
Take them to Hibachi. Go.
Always great when we have something wonderful to celebrate from our own community, so that was wonderful.
Madam Mayor, just one real quick second. David? Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt and come out of order, but
Are you really, Troy?
not really.
Hi there, I'm Dave O'Connell, president of the Clausen Goodfellows. I just want to let the city know that we are raising money for kids that shouldn't go without a Christmas. And on Sunday, June 26th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we will be having our car wash. So it will be held at the fire station, so get the cars dirty, bring them right through, and any cash donation will get you a car wash. So
Great.
looking forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Dave.
Okay. As usual, I feel like I'm missing a page, but let's go to item 7A. Oh, no, we've already done that. 7A.
Yeah.
You're skipping that. Skipping that. Sorry, I'm skipping and trying to get ahead at the same time. So let's go to the next item, which is 9D, which is consideration of approving the fourth quarter budget amendments.
9A.
9A.
Hey, yeah.
D, oh, A. I shouldn't do 2 sides. 2 sides is confusing at this hour of the day. So item 9A is consideration of approving the request by the Clausen 4th of July Committee to conduct a 3-day carnival on July 2nd through 4th at the Clausen City Park. So on February 15th, 2022, City Council meeting, the City Council approved the request by the Clausen 4th of July Committee to conduct their annual events in celebration of Independence Day. Based on the original request, a scaled-back carnival was planned by the committee, and the original proposed dates consisted of July 3rd and 4th. The committee ended up reaching an agreement with Wade Shows Amusement Co. and has requested their service for a full carnival, which would commence July 2nd through the 4th. Since this addition was not previously included in the original proposal, the committee is asking for the approval from City Council. The city has historically provided public safety and public work services to ensure this event is safe and enjoyable for the community. So we're looking for a motion to entertain adding a day. So basically what we're trying to do is add a day. They've already approved Saturday and no, we've already approved Sunday and Monday, and they have procured services from the carnival for Saturday, which would give them additional revenue and then allow additional opportunity for the community to carnival on Saturday. So that's what we're doing this evening.
I understand there are some safety concerns.
Let's make a motion to discuss,
discuss.
please. Someone would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to discuss. Sure. Or do I have to make a motion to approve or deny?
Madam Mayor, if I may, I think it might be more appropriate if I gave a brief overview, and then you guys can make your motion.
Okay.
So instead of just reiterating everything the mayor just said about the original request, I'm just going to continue on. So the city administration was originally under the impression that a carnival provider would not be available this year and that there would be a scaled back, smaller celebration. With the shorter time frame to prepare for this year-long with other public safety concerns, we're going to recommend that the city council deny the request for the additional carnival day on the 2nd and to implement a curfew for minors after 5 p.m. inside the gates of the carnival. This determination is based on discussions with the police department and Department of Public Works regarding public safety. The 3-day carnival would draw in a large number of people that would lead to a greater police presence in the city. This would require adding on at least 4 more officers to each shift on the 2nd and 3rd. As we all are aware, Clausen draws in thousands of people on the 4th for the parade, fireworks, and carnival. On the 4th, we require all members of our police department to be working. The added shifts on the 2nd and 3rd have the potential to wear out a large majority of our department before the busiest time of the weekend, which is when the fireworks end. Not only that, it would leave us very short on staff to start the week after the 4th. In addition, Alliance Ambulance is not available to provide a detail on July 2nd due to shortages. We as a city also did not originally budget for the overtime on the 2nd, in addition to the other public safety concerns. Once we received the request, we did review other local carnivals, and in order to provide a safe event, we are going to be recommending that we request a curfew is put in place, that all minors be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian after 5 p.m. on both evenings. We understand that this may be a different approach to the 4th of July in comparison to previous years, but unfortunately the world has shifted, and at the end of the day, it is our responsibility to make sure all residents and visitors of our community remain safe. With that said, I know the council is able to make a motion based on what I provided and how they feel on the event. I know the committee is available, as well as interim police chief Vince Smith.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May we speak before you vote also?
No.
Of course.
Yeah, we've got to do a motion.
Yeah, we need a motion. We need a motion before we start talking, but yes, you may.
I'll make the motion. I got it in front of me. Somebody left it here. I move to deny the request by the 4th of July committee due to public safety concerns and to implement a curfew on July 3rd and 4th inside the carnival gates that will require all minors to be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian.
I'll support.
Okay, so we're going to have discussion before we vote.
Yeah.
So,
Since I made the motion, I'll be first.
pardon me?
Since I can be first, since I made the motion.
I'm sorry, I can't
Can I be first since we made the
Can
motion?
you be first?
Yeah.
You may, but I was going to allow them to speak before we speak, if that's okay, just because they have I would like to hear from the committee and also from our police chief, if you don't mind. And then if you have questions that you can intersperse between.
I got a lot of history for the 4th of July.
Okay.
That has been going on since 1980. I've been involved in it. And over the years, it's been 2 days, 3 days. Sometimes it was 4. It depended on how the calendar fell. And nothing ever happened. I mean, Clawson's a great place for this. I don't see where this curfew or not letting them have a 3rd day is going to benefit anybody. This is Clawson. It falls right into how the Clawson 4th of July committee has worked for years. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Committee members who would like to speak.
or support.
Madam Mayor, Council, thank you for hearing us. My name is Bonnie Swope. I'm a part of the 4th of July Committee. Michael Paquette.
Michael Paquette, right now I'm the current president.
We agree with a lot of the things that were just spoken about the safety of the city and concerns as well, but we have taken some precautions. First of all, we're not asking for permission for the carnival. We already have the carnival. It doesn't matter if it's the old carnival or the new carnival, if it's the other rides or these rides, and if it makes anybody feel better. I used to work for Wade Shows for 5 years in the 90s. I'm very familiar with this company. We are only asking for another day. This year, we weren't sure we were going to get our fireworks. Those of you that are involved with our finances and the budget are aware that it's many, many thousands of dollars for the fireworks. Some would say Clausen has the best fireworks in Oakland County. But when we were at risk of not getting the fireworks next year because of the cost, We knew we had to do something to make sure that this year we had revenue and funds coming in. We've been trying to get a carnival for years. We have faced residents that have said they really want a carnival. They don't like the carnival that we had. We've been forever trying to make this happen. The fact that we did this year and that Michael was able to get this is really amazing. It's great for the city, it's great for the revenue, and it's great for the community in general. To hear that they want to stop it because of a third day's resources is very surprising. If anything, now we need the resources from the revenue from the carnival to keep this going, to keep this tradition in Clausen. We've had fireworks every year since the beginning of this celebration.
75 years, I think.
People are drinking all day long, and there are no fights, and they managed to assemble 40,000 people in a park. I think that a carnival inside a secured gate with additional security that we have hired, we have additional security, we have the ability to close the gate. I was at St. Mary many years ago where they thought there was a fight. They just shut down the rides and closed the gates. It was done. Nobody was hurt. This is Clausen. We're a little city with a big heart. We're not going to attract people that don't belong here, that don't normally come here. So we're just asking on behalf of the city that you give back a little bit to what people have lost the last couple of years.
And we're just trying to put on a really good show. This is really great that this is a different group that's coming in, and we've never had this kind of a carnival. Now, Wade shows typically have giant rides, but we're not getting any of those giant rides. We might get one or two of them, but mostly it's going to be kiddie rides still. So we are still gearing towards families, which we've done. I've been involved for at least 25 years now, and giving my time free, just like these guys here that just left. So we have definitely tried to do our best to make sure that it's safe, secure. You guys have put up a fence that has been awesome, keeps people from just sneaking in. I know like some of the cities, for instance, Sterling Heights had a problem. They had a wide open area that you could just walk in any place you wanted. But down the street, Warren City, they just had a 4 or 5 day carnival, 0 incidents. You know, and
I
that's
think
just down the street.
comparing Clausen to Sterling Heights is not very relevant.
Right, which has been brought up to me. And,
If the concern is the ambulance, we would be happy to look for additional services to provide an ambulance for the one missing day to stay on staff from our budget, if that's really the big concern. But it's really just an extra day. It's not really more than that.
And I'm not thinking that we need too much from the DPW. They're all gonna have, I'm meeting with one of the guys this week, and they're gonna have all that set up like they always do. The only thing we need on the second would be trash can. You know, because that's all, we try to keep the place as clean as possible, so when DPW come in, it's pretty clean when they come in. So, and I'm after all those guys all the time to clean up their mess.
And one last comment about the fireworks themselves. We have been told from our supplier that there will be a significant increase, if availability at all, for next year's fireworks in the cost. It's significant. The money has got to come from somewhere. So we all work very hard to make sure. I think the residents think the city puts on the fireworks.
Well,
I don't
I'll
think
say-
they know what we have to do to raise that kind of money. I know Lou knows.
It does say Clausen 4th of July.
You still
Yeah.
using
Say
Zambo's or?
the committee.
We work all year long. This was a milestone to make this carnival happen. It will really help the committee make sure that we have the funds available to keep it going.
Great job, it's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Could you please, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Would you please explain, you said you have security, your own security. So
Yeah.
could you please explain
2 people,
what that
3
would
days.
entail?
Sure, yeah, I sent a letter, email to Nick and Dave and the chief as well, and let them know that we hired a company who typically was our carnival guys, but he now does his own security company. They're bonded, they have their insurance, I have all the information that I can supply to you, which I plan on anyway. It's 2 people walking inside the carnival area on the 2nd, if it's approved. The 3rd, for sure, 2 people. Then 2 more guys come in and stay the night and walk the grounds for the arts and crafts as well as the carnival. And then on the 4th, we have 2 more people come in and walk, as well as 1 person walks along between the tennis courts and the housing to make sure we don't have anybody rolling in into our, what's called the fire zone, the 300-foot fire zone. And typically they put up caution tape, but we hired someone the last few times we've had this, and it's really just paid off real well. We've not had any incidents at all. And I've been doing this for 25 years. I think at most there's been a couple of, chest bumps, and it was quickly resolved by our police force, of course, because we have a pretty good presence of that. I mean, I know it's a strain on the city, like Nick says, to fund the extra day, So we're hoping that somehow, can be found someplace. I know it's a strain on the police officers because they just hired, 6 new guys? They're interviewing right now. They have people leaving. So I know that we're asking a lot from our police force, but by supplying the security, I'm hoping that will at least, they wouldn't need to be as much inside, especially on the first day. I don't expect a lot of people. We never get a lot of people on the first day anyway.
How much money would you need?
I don't know, whatever you guys need.
Yeah. What the
You mean for
resources, the police.
For the police?
The extra day.
Well, what we've hired is $2,000,
Okay.
for the security department.
Yeah.
That's only, 2 people a day. So I know what security costs, it's expensive.
So our number one.
We don't need your money.
No, but you'll take it, right?
Yeah.
We've operated with our own budget, and if we need to do that for security, we will as well.
Yeah, jumped right on it.
So the concern from the city standpoint is 100% security and manning of the police department. So may I put you on, the spot, Chief? Would you mind come and address the concerns that you have, and let's see if there is a resolution that we could make here? If there's room for a resolution?
Oh, sorry we have to meet this way, Mike. First time. Madam Mayor, members of council, I want to say that 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays. I'm very fond memories of being, watching fireworks and being with family as a child. So I respect and appreciate cities like Clausen, which continue to have firework events to ensure the youth share our same experiences that we had growing up. With that being said, Nick's already said, the police department's focus has been ensuring that staffing levels are at optimum level for the 4th of July itself. The goal is to meet the public safety needs for the community and ensure an enjoyable, safe experience for all our residents and others who attend. Some of our public safety partners are not able to commit resources as in years past, but the department's still ensuring levels are met. This includes, as Nick said, the entire police department's on duty July 4th. They're here all day.
And night.
We have to be cognizant of disturbances at other carnivals across the state. I know this is Clawson, but you still have to pay attention to what's going on. Hazel Park was not too far away Memorial Day weekend. We have to have mechanisms in place. I understand that the security was brought up to us today. They had a couple security guards there. We still have to be prepared and provide a police presence, just in case, to ensure that it is safe for everybody. The ambulance, as far as I understand, Clausen has an agreement with Alliance, so that's what we have to go with to provide medics. The Warren was brought up. Yes, Mr. Paquette's correct. Warren had no issues, but they also have a 200-plus officer department, and they had 6 officers assigned to work that detail. I firmly believe that just the mere presence of police officers does keep the peace. The other point was the officers that are assigned those days patrol, they're responsible for the whole city. So we can't rely on them that if something does happen, we leave the rest of the city uncovered. The curfew, I agree with that. Even if it's 6 to 8, just to show that, parents have to be responsible. They can't drop their kids off and not have any responsibility in case something breaks out. That's really all.
So we'd already approved their initial request. So for manning the event, is there a big difference in the number you have from Saturday night to Sunday night already? So if we're doing a carnival for one extra night, and you've already planned it for Sunday, how much more manpower did you plan for Sunday that we wouldn't have for already
we're waiting
for
to see what's going to
Saturday?
happen tonight to see how we're going to cover it.
What's the extra day? Is it the 2nd?
Yes, Saturday.
Okay.
Chiefs.
That'll be less people the 2nd, but the 3rd and the 4th will pick up. And that's what you've already planned for.
The 3rd and the 4th. Well,
Yeah.
the 4th has been the focus.
Yeah.
Until, last week we were notified with the carnival, which is great.
Yeah.
It's just having that time to prepare. 3 weeks may seem like it's enough time, but like I said, when you have your mutual aid cities that are short-staffed themselves for the holidays, trying to get them to help us out, It's gonna be slim and none.
How have we done it in the past? Because clearly we've done it in the past, and I know you're new, so apologize for that, but just wondering, there has to be a way, because our staff of our police department has not changed, probably, it's not grown exponentially to allow us to have, additional staff or less staff.
Well, with the amount of attendees to plan on, we were recommending that 4 officers be assigned on top of the 3 officers that are working road patrol for that day.
4 at the park only, they would just stay at the park?
Right, to respond.
And even if they have 2 security guards, you still feel the need for 4 police officers?
Can it be worked out?
I think we're still gonna stick to what the city was against the 3rd day. We're just cautioning, that's all we're offering here is caution about it.
Chief,
Yes.
you said we've drawn upon external resources from surrounding communities in the past, and you're saying now we're going to get less of that?
For the 4th of July.
Just the day?
Right. So we're still gonna have resources, it's just not as much as, we have to draw from other cities.
And
So like the sheriff's office, they provide a certain amount of reserves. They don't have that many this year to
so
provide.
can you give us an indication of how much of the external support we're losing this year versus previous years?
Well, for the 4th, we're gonna be staffed. It's still gonna be staffed, it's just, we've had to draw on other cities
Sure.
to ask for help.
Do we draw would we be drawing on other cities for the 3rd on Sunday?
Well, we usually don't, as far as I understand, we don't usually draw, it's only for the 4th that we have the mutual aid to assist with traffic and, all the attendees.
So you don't ask for help on the 2nd and the 3rd at all?
It's my understanding they haven't in the past.
Okay.
Is it possible to?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I had a meeting with the chiefs last week, the area chiefs, and, they're talking about how short they are for the holidays and events that they have to cover. We can put it out there and see. But then it might come into how we're gonna pay for some of those resources down the road, if they require us to pay for their services. So how do we go about cost recovery?
We have a budget, we can look at that.
You have a budget that would cover police reimbursement?
We can look at our budget for that, yes. This is nothing different than what we've done in the past. The curfew, the extra day, we've had 4th of July celebrations.
Come up, because they won't be able to pick you up. No, it's okay, I just want to make sure you're saying important things, so.
This isn't a new animal. As Councilmember Sampson said, we've had 4-day 4th of Julys. We've had carnivals. Our older Clausen kids like to come celebrate also. They don't have to be curfewed at 8 o'clock. The middle school and high school students, Lord knows there's not enough for them to do as it is. This isn't something we haven't tried. The only thing that's different is this particular year, we're asking for a day early. We have a lot of revenue that we need to keep to keep this going for next year. We want to have fireworks next year. But as I said, to motion to cut it back without exploring ways to make it happen is really surprising to me. We can look at a budget for security. I think you said yourself, just having a presence of a police officer is security sometimes. If we have hired security in the same type of uniform, that presence should also be helpful. It shouldn't just only be the police. So I think that it's possible. They're making the request seem, it sounds to me like the request is more than what we're really asking for. We're just asking for another day. We can help with the resources if they're available. There's been no trouble. There's been no fighting. There's no reason to have a curfew. To say that other cities have done it, we're not other cities. We haven't even tried. We've had our community ask us for this for years, and we did it. Why would you stop it?
Well, I think the bottom line is the police department hasn't had an appropriate time to staff, right?
Sure.
And we have to be concerned about that. We have to be concerned about the appearance of safety, right?
Sure.
If not, even if it's just an appearance, we can't control who comes in and out of the doors, right?
Right.
And most Clawson people are amazing, and we love them, and we love our surrounding people too, but you just never know. And we don't want the liability as a city for something to occur that we could have planned for, and we just haven't had time to plan for. So I'm going to address from my viewpoint, the curfew. I would potentially be for a curfew for a certain age, but not for any under 18-year-old person to enter the park. I think that's, I think it's extremely cautious, and I think that in a community like ours where people tend to run, I think that's one of the things that the kids in this community look forward to. They look forward to that one day when they get to go and be like a big shot and go walk around the parade. This community lets their kids go to the park. They let their kids, go to the skateboard thing. They go downtown. They do all their things on their own. It's their parents that are okay with it, let their kids do it, and I think that should be something we should allow, although maybe we identify an age where it would be appropriate, but definitely not maybe in middle school. Or don't send your third grader out there by yourself, but don't do that
I don't think
anyways,
that
people.
happens.
That's not parenting.
And I
Not
think you
great
just
parenting.
mentioned we don't have the ability, but we do, right? I just want to remind you, it's in a gated area, and we can shut it down on a moment's notice. It's not that difficult to just stop should something happen, which I firmly believe won't. But it is in a secured area. It's not a big, wide open area like some of these other events. We're not advertising to other cities. We're in a Clausen Facebook group. It's not going in the newspaper. We're advertising on our Clausen Facebook page.
Well, it will spread,
It will,
right?
but I
Because
mean, it's not
people
the
are gonna-
same
People will
as-
still expect
Right.
it, whether it happens here or not. There are
Right.
people probably trolling the neighborhood the past couple of years when it wasn't here, just hoping that it was going to be here, because
Sure.
we have the reputation of being the 4th of July community in the area, which is wonderful. But I think is it possible for us to not make a determination right now to give our chief an opportunity to see if he can fine tune some of these things? I would hate for us to make a decision that would put our police department in a bad spot, right? If it's possible for you to secure additional staff from surrounding communities and whatever partnerships you have, or through retired, I don't know if you can use retired people, I don't know who's out there that wants extra money, that's a verified police person that could do service for us, if that's something we could even look at. If we could do something like that.
We only
and
got
then-
2 weeks.
And we could
No, I
increase
understand that time
security
is
for
of the
Saturday.
essence, but we can't make a rush decision and then it's
we don't
really
have-
unfair to put our department head at a disadvantage when he has to staff his
putting them at a
area.
And we could lose the contract.
No, I understand.
Right.
This is important.
Yeah.
But this is important,
Right.
right? Like our job is to make sure that our resources are managed. And this is extremely critical because this is something that is community and we want to promote community,
Right.
of course.
What if we had extra security on Saturday? If we hired additional, and instead of 2, we had 4? Would that make
Would that work, chief?
I'm gonna need a day to look at this again.
You gonna hold a special meeting?
yeah.
I'm fine with a special meeting. I'm fine with a special meeting. I want it resolved so that everyone can feel comfortable with it. I don't want to strong arm one side or the other. I don't think that's fair. I don't think we've had the appropriate time. I think the city has done their due diligence quickly to see, based on past practice, what they've done, what the answers would be. And I respect that. But given that there are potentially other options, I think we should investigate other options. And if you come up with the idea that we really can't do this, then I think it would be in our best interest to say we can't do it. But I think we should look at our options before we just say, we've always done it this way, and no, it's not going to happen. I don't think that's giving enough credibility to the committee that's worked so hard and needs those resources as well, and just to the community that would enjoy that one extra day.
One other
That's
thing
my
on
opinion.
security.
Say it's going to happen on the same note.
One other thing on security to the chief. They want to meet with you and be in your group, and so you can give them complete direction on how you want them to handle situations. Oz is his name, and he said he's willing to come and meet with you and make sure that things are done right.
What's the name of his company? Do you know?
I don't have it, it's not in my head, I just know that he's had it for years. So he does a bunch of different things. I can get that to you, not a problem.
All right, please.
Yep, absolutely. All right, thank you.
Well, let's vote.
I guess the way I see it, the chief has a very important responsibility to provide the safety, and I don't want to undercut your ability to do your job. At the same time, if additional resources are made available for that third day, I imagine perhaps, chief, you would support consideration of that. Am I correct?
Yes.
It's all about resources. Now, we've never had an incident in Clawson, and yes, Clawson is not the same as Warren, Sterling Heights. I don't think we ever had a major incident, have we, Lou?
None that I can remember.
Okay, that's good.
Little ones.
All right, little ones. And we'd like to keep it that way. And I'd hate a bad incident to occur on Chief Smith's watch. So yes, I agree with the mayor. If find those resources for a third day. I mean, I've lived here 26 years. I'd love to give you a fourth day, frankly, but again,
They wanted the fourth day, but I said,
I understand, but we have to consider the resources in play, so.
So what are the hours of the Saturday? Would that have any effect on your need for staffing, chief? If, what are the hours for the 12 to
they're
10?
requesting 12 to 9.
12 to 9?
Yep. I mean, if you need us to reduce the hours, we can do that.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, that was just my thought. Would that impact things at all if we went to an earlier close time on the
Later
carnival?
start.
3 to 9 probably would be appropriate for that.
Okay,
That's for the first day.
Yeah.
first day only, yeah.
We have done 3 to 9 in the past.
We used to do a soft day on the first day anyway,
Because 9 o'clock's still light outside, so
Yes.
hopefully that,
until 9:30.
makes it a little more palatable. But I'm really sorry, chief, we put you in a tough spot here, but
Like I said, ma'am, like I said, I understand the committee's point of view, totally, and we're not trying to ruin it.
Oh, of course.
We're just trying to be protective here.
Yes.
The fact that it was a 2-day thing that was approved and then a 3-day last week, I know outside the public safety community, some residents can't understand what it does take to get resources out here. And I know they're not requesting a lot, but we feel that it's necessary. Regardless, Clausen is an awesome town, yes,
Yeah, that's
but
irrelevant.
we have to be prepared just in case. And that's all we're looking at.
No, and we appreciate that because that's what we entrust you to do, and that's, for all of our benefit, including the committee's benefit. We would hate for something to just not be right. So, but given all of that, if there's a possibility that you can just look at maybe another way, or if there's any way we can tweak this to make it happen for them, let's do that. So you need another day. He's like, I need another week.
Let me speak to city management
Okay,
tomorrow.
all right.
We'll have an answer for you.
Thanks. And then are you gentlemen agreeable to having a special meeting? It would be extremely short, just to
Just-
approve this. Should they be able to work something out? We
Well,
just
that's
table this
fine.
right now?
Let's vote on the one we got now, and then figure out what we're going to do. 'Cause they,
We're meeting with them tomorrow.
yeah,
Is there a way that we could sit in on that meeting as well?
It's open, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
We start at 7:30 here.
7:30 a.m.?
No.
I was going to say.
PM.
All of us back now.
We do have,
Oh, your committee meeting. Okay,
we
got
have, we
it.
have jobs too, like you guys.
Jobs. How many? No, just kidding.
It
Multiple,
boils
like
down
all of
to,
us, right?
boils down to we're going to probably do it. The 2 days, the 3rd and the 4th, are already planned for. We're really talking about the first day,
The
which is
second.
limited hours. Chief, is there, do you write that off totally yet? I mean, can you say, I can't do it?
I just respectfully ask that I review with the city manager. Please.
And Madam Mayor, if I may, at the end of the day, we are supposed to just review requests as they come in. We want to support the 4th of July committee as best we can, and based on the information we were given, we made the determination that we thought best fit. And of course, the city council is allowed to make whatever motion they believe, but the city administration that's just the request we've given at this time. If council decides to approve that 3rd day, absolutely 110%, we will give all the resources need be. But based on the information in front of you this evening, that's what we are recommending.
Okay. I think it's fair to say that we're all in favor of supporting our 4th of July committee and all of their activities, and that we all just want what's best for all of us in the end, right? So we don't want to overtax anyone, but I appreciate your willingness to investigate any other options and see if we can make this work. If we can make it work, it would be a great win for all of us. And if you can't, then we will respect your decision, and we will just hope that next year is a little different and we plan accordingly. So,
I would also like to apologize for the last minute on this happening, but
No.
we just actually I would like to apologize for this happening at the last minute. I actually just received a phone call like 2.5 weeks ago. So it's been, boom, I went and met with Nick the first day I talked with the guy. I constantly was trying to get things going as quickly as possible.
well, we
And I do
understand.
respect
Yeah, it's a
everything
good,
going on.
it's all a good thing. We just have to figure out how we can, if
All
we
right.
can, make it
Thank you.
work out. So
we've
thank
had
you
two-
very much.
We've had 2 weeks to plan this, and now we're going to do it in 1 day.
Hey, good people can pivot. Pivoting is really important in life, right? Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor. Would
call
you
the
like
vote.
to repeat it so that everyone knows
Well,
what
the
we're doing
motion
here?
is to deny the request, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
You got it?
if we want to give more time, we'll vote no against this motion. I'm assuming.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The motion is to deny the request for the additional day,
Correct.
so,
All right, roll call, please.
Okay. Councilmember Anderson,
no.
Mayor Milan,
We're denying the request. Why am I confused? Yes, we're denying the request.
The motion was to deny.
I move to deny the request by the 4th of July Committee due to public safety concerns and to implement a curfew on July 3rd and 4th inside the carnival gates that will require all minors be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. Move to deny. Yes. No. Yes, it's yes.
No means denying the denial.
No means approving it. Because the motion is to deny.
Yeah,
So if you wish for it not to occur,
I'm
then
correct.
yes,
Yes.
is correct.
Yes. Yes, I'm correct.
Motion was to deny the request. If we vote yes, that will deny the request.
Correct.
But yet, our discussion, if we want to give them more time,
That's not the motion.
That's not the motion. You can have a second motion, but on this motion, you're limited to the facts of that motion. So
Yes.
you would have to go back and do something different.
okay. But if we deny their request, we're pretty well done, right? Or do we have to then get another motion?
Council moves, another motion.
Resurrect it.
Well, council moves by resolution, so you can deny it, you can turn back and have another vote and approve it. If one, or make any other correction or direction as you may see fit. But yes, if you want to deny it, you must say yes. If you want to approve, you say no, because it's a negative motion.
Those are the only two options, yes or no right now, and then we go in and determine how we're going to move forward.
It's your next step.
So do you want to keep your vote, which you may, of course? My vote is yes.
Okay, I guess I'm just a little, so the motion was to deny their request.
Correct.
And I,
If you say yes, you do deny. If you say
All right.
no,
No.
you do not deny.
all right. All right, I'll say no.
No.
Okay, so now, do we want to address, let's start with
I'll make a motion to approve it, to have, you'd have to help on this, but let's approve it with the chief's okay. So we don't have to come back 2 days from now. So it's approved unless the chief says, totally, I can't do it.
Subject to chief approval of
Yeah,
items.
and you guys work with the chief and work out the little details for the one extra day. So how would it read?
Would we relinquish our authority to the chief at that point?
No, because he's going to,
You're making it subject. Obviously, anytime you make such a motion, it needs to be as precise as humanly possible. Otherwise,
That's what you
de
heard.
facto, thank you. De facto, you're correct about that. But I imagine, Chief, if we're limiting the motion or your ability to review on just the additional security as to whether that is acceptable to you or not. Is that a fair statement? Is that a fair subject to? Motion to approve the committee's request, subject to Clausen Chief of Police review and approval of additional security on the third day.
right, okay.
Are you making that motion, sir?
Yes, I
Minority
made that
Leader?
motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
roll call, please.
Mayor Milan,
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson,
Yes,
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, so that's about manpower. We still have the concern of the ambulance, so how will we address that?
I think if I may, Madam Mayor, I think the chief is correct. We do have an agreement with Health Alliance. I think in and of itself, I think I shouldn't use the term limited, but we are somewhat limited in that respect. So they will take care of it.
Yeah.
Well, Well, if they said they were unavailable, which was part of the issue,
Is
they
that-
must have a
oh, my
clause.
apologies.
That was the issue.
I'm
If
sorry.
I'm understanding it correctly, you can come up if you'd like.
Yes, thank
So
you.
if they say they're unavailable, clearly we can work outside of them.
So if you call 911 from there, what are they going to call you and say, sorry, I'm unavailable?
Well, if you understand how the ambulance business works, their resources are stretched out, and during a holiday weekend, I mean, it depends on how many ambulances are available per city. So the goal was to have one stationed near the carnival for sure,
Yeah,
just because there's gonna be an amount of people there.
yeah,
And depending on what the weather's going to be, heat exhaustion, whatever.
yeah, but if they need 2 ambulances, they're going to have to roll them somewhere else.
But Sergeant Scott, who's in charge for the police department's end of it, he reached out right away to Alliance to see what their manpower was, and, you know, they're stretching it thin, the third and the fourth, but the second for sure, they told us they couldn't provide or guarantee somebody for the carnival.
We got a motion, let them figure all the details, get back to us.
Well, as long as that's included in what the motion was, it didn't appear to be included in the motion.
Approval
That
by
was
him.
regarding staffing.
No, their plan approved by him. So with all the stuff, the ambulances and the people and the security cops and everything.
If I may assist, the terminology utilized was security for that day. Chief, would you understand health to be a portion of the security? If you do, there's no need to further delve in.
Trust us, public safety needs.
Thank you. I presume then that that's sufficient.
Everything,
Yeah.
Thank you.
the medics and the security.
I would imagine then Chief, you know, if you do review, then council will probably be satisfied.
Okay, so then the next thing that we should, wait, do we have to vote on, do we have
No.
a motion on the floor? No, okay,
We just
thank
voted
you.
on
Great. Next thing we will need to discuss would be the curfew, the potential curfew. So the thought on, that was your idea for the curfew, correct? So if you could please just give some parameters for that.
I think it's something we can work out tomorrow at their meeting,
Okay.
since they're gonna run that end of it. We can determine what the appropriate time would be. I would say 5 to 8, but it depends on what time they're open till.
Okay, they were saying they're open till 9 or 10.
May I ask why? Since we've never had a curfew before, what's the concern this year?
That you have, it's not a curfew, it's that you have a guardian or parent with the children. So to.
Again, I'm just asking why, because that's not something that's been part of our carnival.
Right, but
or
that's
the
just,
fireworks
I understand.
before.
It's what other cities have done once they've had an altercation at their carnival so you don't have parents who's dropping their kids off from, you know, whatever. And it is like Nick said, it's a different age that we live in now, okay? We don't know what's gonna happen, but we wanna be prepared for that. And so after a certain time, if it's later in the evening, you wanna make sure your parents are with the children so there is no trouble. And that's one way of safeguarding.
Thank you.
Children of what age? So, because that's the catcher, right? Like, is it going to be 3rd grade and up? Is it going to be, you know,
mean, if we bring
and who's going to police how old they are? Like, the kids don't carry around, they're not going to bring their school IDs and say, look, I'm really 7, I'm really 14. I mean, and I'm not trying to make this hard. I'm just saying, like, there are issues you have to consider because there are 8-year-olds that look like they're 21 and there are 21-year-olds that look like they're 8.
What's
So-
the age requirement on the rides?
It's height.
Height.
Height requirement. And I guess, like I said, I'm confused because this wasn't anything that we've implemented, it wasn't a problem. If we're bringing in rides that are geared towards teenagers or little ones will be there during the day, clearly the teenagers and the middle schoolers are gonna come into the later hours, I would imagine. I don't think a mother's gonna bring their 3rd grader at 8 p.m. So I would hate to limit the people that are there to use the rides in the
Yeah.
evening.
Well, and
Kind of defeats the purpose of bringing it in.
if I read it correctly, it was to limit the I used the word curfew. The curfew was for inside the park, not for outside of the park. I personally believe a bunch of teenagers without parents can cause way more trouble on the outside of the park than they can on the inside of the park once you say, oh, no, you can't go inside the park. So, and not, and I don't mean like bad trouble, but they can be obnoxious. And we don't want anyone being obnoxious to the people who are coming into our community, whether they live here or they don't live here. So those things, I think, are just common sense things. I understand the goal, but I don't think, it's not friendly. It's just not friendly. It's not conducive to encouraging people to attend. I mean, you'll lose people just because parents will send their kids with their own hard-earned money or the money they give them, and then they won't want to go themselves. And then if we have that, then we're going to have fewer participants at the door to earn the money that we're all worried about in the first place. So I don't know how that conversation comes about, but I think that's something we need to, those are issues we need to consider. Yes, sir?
As I said, they just found out about this last week. They had limited information about what was going on. That we acted on what the information that was provided to us. So, yes, we have to work at some things now. But everything we based our decision on was on the information we had, which we didn't know what kind of rides they were providing. So that's where the curfew for sure came in. As far as the security part, it's just based on what's been going on across the area. It's just being prepared. It's all this is. It's not against anybody.
No, and please don't think.
So if we can reach, a happy medium, sure.
Yes.
But the city has a responsibility to ensure a safe area and make sure there's no issues.
I 100% agree with you on all of that, and I hope that you don't feel like that I or anyone is picking on you, for lack of a better word. We trust your professionalism 100%. We're just asking for to just look a little harder to see if we can make this happen. That's all. It's not to take away from your authority or your scope of responsibility or you're the professional here and we trust you. You're here for a reason because we trust you. This is important to us and we would like things to be reasonable. We appreciate that the world's changed. We're all living in a changed world. We don't necessarily like it. We understand we have to embrace some new things, but let's just be responsible and realistic on some of it as well, and not just go all in on what could happen.
I can tell you, I'm totally against the curfew. Reasons why is the kids reach an age where the parents, it's in Clausen. Hey, this is the year my parents would give me, well, back then it was $5-10 and go have a ball. Now it's probably, here's 150, go ahead. But it's that thing that all the kids look for, that they can go away without mom and dad to a carnival, but it's really like an enclosed area, but it's an enclosed city. So really, they're not going too far. They're going 5 blocks into the place, and then most of them have a curfew to get home by a certain time. So I wouldn't want to see any curfew at all, because we ain't going to get any 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds, or if a parent's going to send their 7-year-old, maybe they need parenting skill. I don't know but it's a rite of passage in this town, and I kind of like it like that.
Okay. So I don't know where that went.
You guys can all work it out, huh?
Yeah.
Have a ball.
Okay, is everyone comfortable with all of these issues? Have we addressed all of them?
You're all gonna walk in the parade, right? I didn't see all the applications.
Oh, I know, I
We
didn't.
have to apply?
It's an election year, so there's a lot of
We
politicians.
have a lot of politicians,
That's
probably
right.
80% of the parade.
All behind us, right?
Yeah. Put the politicians behind the fire trucks,
Okay.
and they'll walk faster.
We value all of our public servants. Come on, you guys. Especially at parade time, because it makes the parade longer, and they usually give out ice cream or something, right? The good ones. Listen, politicians, the good ones give out ice cream. That's right. Okay, well, thank you very much to the parade committee for coming, and we thank you for all of the hard work that you do all year long. I've served on parades in Pontiac for many, many years. Mine was in the winter, so I don't know which is worse, the winter or the summer, but either way, they're a lot of hard work, and you always come up. It always happens, and it's always great when it's over, and it's a lot of hard work. If people have never done it, it's just so much work. You just don't consider all the little things that go into it, so these people deserve our applause, just like our fire department did earlier. We appreciate all these things that make us a community. So, thank you.
And I know
Chief will get with
you guys get a tough job. Most of the decisions they make, they usually make about January.
Oh, no, I've done it, yeah.
That's right.
If you don't make it by January, forget it.
We had a lot of hurdles this year. There's a lot that we had to overcome, from procuring the things that we normally could get very easily, like the fireworks themselves, to volunteers, balloons, floats, people, and the carnival was such a big boost for the whole event. As I said, it's gonna take a lot to continue, and we're gonna have to support that if we want to continue this tradition.
Would you be willing to tell everybody how much you pay for fireworks and insurance?
$30,000 for the fireworks.
Yep.
And we get that from the carnival fees. And if Wade Shows comes back and says, no, it's not worth it to us to set up for 2 days, we wanted 4, we agreed on 3, then we have no carnival this year. So, we're
What-
hoping.
It's going to be great. It's going to work out well for everybody. But would someone from your committee like to come to the podium so everyone could hear and tell how volunteers can still volunteer? Because you still need people, right? Or how, if you want to be in the parade, you can still be in the parade if you fill out that application?
Sure. If you're not a member of the 4th of July Facebook group, that is the easiest way to get the up-to-date information. We do have a 4th of July website, but the people use Facebook more than they do websites. There are online applications this year, so you don't have to print it out and mail it in. There's an application to be in the parade. There's a sign-up form for volunteers. We really need volunteers for the parade. We may look to maybe groups or something to fill that because that's really low right now. We do have, normally the parade is about 120 units. We're at about 65 this year. About 80% of them are politicians. I'm going to use, but they have candy. So we do have Secretary of State joining us in our parade this year, which is kind of a nice, we are supposed to have the jets fly over. We had that approved actually at the White House. We are still looking for people to help line up in the parking lot and get ready. And I know a lot of people like to get up early and help with that, so that's still out there also. I put something out there, if any Clausen businesses wanted to put a float in the parade, I would personally make them a free banner to put on their float, and nobody took me up on that yet. We're hoping to get another message out to them this week to see. We do have a few businesses that are in it, but not very many. I'm using some of our budget to rent floats from the Detroit Parade Company this year, just so we can get something in there, because we haven't had as many people step forward. Unfortunately, there's also a helium shortage, so we won't have big balloons, but we will have other things that will be fun for the kids and a lot of politicians. So, again, the Facebook group, you'll be able to see very easily. There's sign-up forms, and there's applications online and the website as well.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Great, thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Thanks for your hard work, you guys.
Okay, moving on. Next item on the agenda would be consideration of approving the contract for assessing services with Oakland County Equalization Division. The City of Clausen uses the Oakland County Equalization Division for our assessing services. The proposed contract contains all of the same provisions and services as previously provided. The most notable change is that the cost per parcel has been adjusted by 4% increase from the 2019 contract. The cost for real property parcel will go from $14.14 to $15, and $12.93 to $13.72 for personal property parcel. The proposed rates will be effective for the period of July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. The two changes from the agreement made in June of 2019 are the duration of the contract and the cost for services. The one-year contract is due to the county identifying new staff for the 2022-2023 year, as they are in the process of having a new director join their team. The cost increase is due to inflation, as cost for services has increased. It is recommended to approve the contract with the Oakland County Equalization Division to continue providing assessing services to the city of Clawson.
So moved as specified.
Okay. Would anyone like to speak on this, or is it pretty self-explanatory for everyone? Does anyone have any
Is
questions?
it typically inflation-driven here to provide the service?
So historically, it's been a 1% increase. The last contract, like I said, was in 2019. And so this 4% increase for 1 year is, like I said, due to the new director, but also the housing market affected that request for a 4% increase, and that generally speaking, cities have generated more revenue based on the housing, so we've had to use their services more. And so essentially that increase is just to meet the county's needs for what they've been doing for us. And I would like to add, the Equalization Division, Oakland County, is on the ball 100%. If staff has a question, they don't just respond to us, they get us the answer we're looking for in record time. So they've got a great team down there, and we're lucky to use them for assessing.
As they should, because we're paying them. Hello.
Exactly.
So it's been 1% of the past for how long?
I think we've been using Oakland County for at least 10 plus years.
Way more than that.
Yeah, and again, it went back that far that I didn't have an exact time frame. But they did share that when this contract is up next summer, they'll definitely be considering that we incurred a 4% increase this year, and that won't be the increase going forward. It'll likely go back to a 1 or 2% increase next summer.
I guess, are they just trying to 1% sounds awfully low. So are they trying to recoup some?
So I did speak to the Director of Management and Budget today, as well as a member of their team last week, and he said that they've been operating at a net loss, and so this is also looking to address that on their end.
Okay, but I'm assuming even though the rate that they're charging for the services, I'm assuming the amount of services they render to us is pretty much equal each year. I mean, they're assessing, every time there's so many housing units they have to be assessed. I think the lady with the answers is stepping up to the microphone.
I may not have the complete answer, but I imagine that they have different tools they have to use that cost more money. They have to go out on the road. Gasoline costs more money. So everything that they do is a increased cost. And that's why they have to recoup the 4%. I believe, and I thought the prior contract was at least 2 to 3% increase, but I would have to look and get back with you on that one.
Well, we also had a period, a lull in our, so every year we get a series of tax appeal cases. They go to the tax tribunal. We had sort of a lull for a couple of years, obviously due to Corona. Last year, it really went back into high gear. And they do, our defense of, the city gets sued for those cases, obviously. So we have to defend, and I know that I work very closely with them. And Nick is correct, they're actually quite incredible compared to other communities and other, that do this work themselves. They are very much on the ball, so, just some perspective.
Okay, so we had a motion. I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes. So we will approve the new rates for the Oakland County Assessing Services and Equalization Division. So the next thing we're going to discuss will be consideration of approving the updated policy relative to the review and granting of poverty exemptions by the Clausen Board of Review.
So moved as specified.
Okay.
I'll second.
Does someone want to speak on that, or do you want me to just give this spiel?
It's moved and seconded so we can discuss.
Yeah, people might want to know what it's about. So on April 2021, the Clawson City Council approved a resolution that states the policies and guidelines that the Board of Review uses to grant poverty exemptions within the city of Clawson. In early June, Clawson had an audit of minimum assessing requirements compiled by the Michigan State Tax Commission, which analyzes and cites the assessing procedures. The AMAR went well, with the only issue being the language of our poverty exemption application and resolution. In order to have this audit completed with a perfect score, our documents need to be updated. The updates requested by Oakland County and AMAR consist of removing items 9 and 10 due to updated regulations and guidelines set forth by the state of Michigan. In order to retain a perfect score with the AMAR and to have updated poverty exemption document, it is recommended to approve the proposed resolution to update our current language. Would someone like to state succinctly what those changes are, in case anybody wants to know?
Yeah, I have those two in front of me that are going to be removed based on what was approved last year. So number 9 shares, a hardship exemption shall not be granted to an applicant whose investments will produce an income, which when added to the applicant's household income exceeds the HUD extremely low income limits. Number 10 is a hardship exemption shall not be granted to any applicant who owns real property, whether singly or jointly, regardless of location other than his or her homestead.
Okay. Any questions?
I guess the first one makes sense. In other words, if you got income from some property you own, that should be considered part of your overall income package. It's the second one I do have a question on, that the person could own other assets, other property, and yet not be making any income.
So when I spoke to Travis from Oakland County Assessing, ironically, he shared that the primary reason those two are being removed is because they don't necessarily apply to how they grant the exemption, and that it's essentially covered in rest of the document and the application. So it's basically just simplifying the application by removing those 2 points.
Okay, I'm just concerned the second point almost, it is possible to be land poor, own assets that have no income and thus
Yeah.
effectively poor. But you're saying it's already covered in other parts of the document?
Correct.
Okay.
Good.
There you go.
Roll
Roll.
call, please.
Sure. Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes?
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Wonderful. So we have now addressed our updated policy relative to the review and granting of poverty exemptions by the Clausen Board of Review. The next item we have on our agenda will be consideration of approving the fourth quarter budget amendments for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. As the 2021-22 fiscal year is coming to an end, the city administration has provided the fourth quarter budget amendments to align the 2021-2022 budget to the actuals. Finance Director Kelly Rao has prepared a memo outlining the budget amendments requested for each fund and has provided each line item with an associated amendment. Finance Director Rao is here for any questions. Motion? I would like to make a motion to approve the fourth quarter budget amendments for the 2021-2022 fiscal year as presented.
Support.
Thank you. Any questions? Kelly, do you have anything you'd like to add for us? I know you do, because it's fun.
No, I think that it was pretty extensive. There was no deficit fund balances after the budget amendments are approved this evening, so we're still in good shape. The fund balance for the current year isn't quite as high as I thought it would be, but it isn't any more than what we budgeted for originally, so.
Any questions? Roll call, please. Thank you very much.
Mayor Milan?
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Great. So we have now approved our budget amendments for the year. We have removed the item 9E, which was discussion of the topic of rental ordinances, and we will address that in the future. So then we move on to old unfinished business. Does anyone have any old unfinished business? Okay, great. Then we will move on to public comments for items not on the agenda. If you would like to speak, please come to the podium and give your name and address, please.
Susan Moffett, 726 Dreon. I just wanted to remind the council that because we've been a little bit quiet for the past couple months, doesn't mean that we've forgotten about the George's atrocity, and that we would, like an update on what's going on with the lawsuit, and we would again like to state that the best way to resolve this is for George's to resign and let the community move forward. That's all I got.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak?
Hello. Just a reminder from the DDA that the Cinema in the Street is Saturday, July 9th, and to announce that we do have a movie. The movie this year is going to be Sing. So it's going to be a fun movie, and we hope that we have a great crowd, great weather, and a a good end to the whole 4th of July celebration.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the alley looks good.
The alley looks amazing.
It does.
Yes. The arch is finally up. Yes, the longest arch project in close to it being in history. And the string lights went up this week. Seating will be next, and then we are still working on concepts for the artwork. So, and then we're going to need some flowers and things in there. So it's coming along.
Looks
And we
good.
have applied for some grant funds to help with that and seating and stuff on the rest of the streetscape. So things are looking up.
Is it in the social district?
Pardon?
Is the alley in the social district?
Yes, it is.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, we'll close public discussion. Next item will be our city attorney's report.
Madam Mayor, I don't have anything in particular this evening. I wanted to, coincidentally, in working with the assessor's office, we did resolve one of those tax tribunal cases where it was, it's being dismissed, just another notch on their lapel, I suppose. But other than that, I have nothing additional. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Next will be our city manager's report.
Just a couple of quick items for the council and public. So there's still time to get on the list for the first round of purchasing for the historical home plaques by the museum. The deadline is July 1st, and to get more information, please contact the museum at 248-588-9169 or send an email to historicalmuseum@cityofclawson.com. The library summer reading program, Oceans of Possibilities, is underway. There are currently over 200 applicants ranging in all ages, or participants, excuse me. And there's still time to sign up as there's no deadline to get involved. You can head to the library's website or stop by the library for more information. I got a couple of requests today regarding trash pickup, and that it is not delayed this week, so you still want to have your trash out tonight, and it'll be picked up tomorrow. As we continue with some of these very warm days, I'd like to remind everyone that Hunter Community Center is a cooling center, and they're open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And then to address the concern made during public comment, the attorney for that case has requested a closed session, and it is tentatively going to be in the July 5th City Council meeting. And that concludes the city manager's report.
Thank you. City council comments, Mr. Sampson?
I don't have any.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson?
I've none.
Okay. I have a letter here from our attorney, Mr. McGinnis. Several people have asked repeatedly what's going on with George George's case. I spoke with him earlier today, and he agreed to send a little blurb about what the status of the case is so that people can understand what's going on. So it says, per your request, I have included a brief update below. I have copied the city manager and the city attorney as well. I was asked to provide a brief update as to the George George's matter. Procedurally, we, as a city, have filed a preliminary witness list. The matter is set for case evaluation in the beginning of August. Case evaluation is a dispute resolution mechanism. In the meantime, the parties are currently engaged in settlement negotiations. We currently have a proposal that will be presented to council in the next available closed session. We received this counter proposal yesterday, 6/20/22. We are hopeful that we will all be able to resolve this matter in a mechanism that involves Mr. George's not taking a seat on council. In the event the matter does not resolve, it will continue forward towards the normal litigation and trial process. It is our desire to resolve this as expeditiously as possible and continue to move forward for the betterment of the city. If anyone has any questions, they are free to contact attorney Kevin J. McGinnis at 586-524-7588. Again, his phone number is 586-524-7588. And it states he will discuss any non-privileged information with whomever contacts him. So that is a brief update on the status of that. I would like to say this week we had a new business open. It's called Vintage Vault. two really great, young, energetic men have this shop. This is their logo, VV. I told them I was going to bring it here. I'm going to ruin their brand right now by putting this on my head. Now, if I hadn't worn it, they'd be thought of as so cool. Now they're going to be like, ew. So I'm going to take it off now. But if you are into vintage T-shirts, tennis shoes, action figures, what else do they have in there? You were there. What else was there?
Just about anything.
Yeah, just old
stuff.
Old stuff. All kinds of T-shirts. Really quite incredible. And the young men are extremely nice. Go check it out. There were a couple of young men from Clausen, as in bike age riding young men in Clausen, waiting for the doors to open, which was really nice to see. And there was another couple families there that drove a little way to come see it. So another one of the unique businesses that Clausen offers, something a little different from what we have already. So if you're interested in old things, go check them out. Regarding upcoming events at the library, I was asked to announce that there is a summer concert series coming up. They had one on Monday. I don't know who was able to attend, but as always, they do such a great job, the Friends of the Library. They have another one coming up in their summer concert series, which will be Monday, August 15th from 7 to 8:15. So let's join us for a concert in the gazebo. Matthew Ball performs American Songbook favorites from New Orleans and swing dance era. The concert is free to the public and family friendly. Bring your blanket or lawn chair. And the 2022 Summer Concert Series is brought to you by the Friends of the Blair Memorial Library. For more information, please contact the library. On Sunday, we have the next Summer Park Market at Clausen City Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Music will be by Dan, the one-man band. Who wouldn't want to see Dan, the one-man band, right? Will be obstacle inflatables from 10 to 12. Bring socks. There will be a climbing tower from 10 to 12. Bring closed-toe shoes. Reminder, closed-toe shoes. No sandals, little kids. You need closed-toe shoes for that one. There will also be free Zumba classes by Ivy at 11 a.m. So please come out and support our farmer that is always there, and then any of the other arts and crafts and other people that are there faithfully. We've heard a lot about the 4th of July this evening, but I want to just give a little shout out for things that are coming up. On Wednesday, June 22nd, there's going to be a band concert in the park. Saturday, June 25th, the Clausen Kitty Parade. Sunday, June 26th, is the 5K Freedom Run. Saturday, July 2nd, concessions will be set up at the park. Sunday, July 3rd, bonus night at the city park with amusement rides, food concessions, and arts and crafts. Monday, July 4th will be Firecracker Mile, the parade. And at the city park, 4th of July program, amusement rides, food, concessions, arts and crafts, followed by the spectacular fireworks. And we want to say thank you to the parade, the Clausen 4th of July committee for all of their hard work. And I think that's all I have this evening. I want to say thank you to everyone for participating today in the lengthy conversation. We value our administration and their decisions that they make. We want to support them. We also want to support our community and the activities that go on. So hopeful that after all the discussion we had tonight, we'll come to a great consensus and do what's best for the community moving forward for the 4th of July. And that's all I have. I will entertain a motion to dismiss.
Motion adjourned.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sampson?
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson?
Yes.
Mayor Milan?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.